You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Looking After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Looking After Show.
All right, Kyle, come on, kick it off here for us.
But I'm perfectly good at it.
Wait, oh my God, remember Brittany did it with Rihanna?
Oh, yeah.
I'm Kyle, and I'm here for Brittany impressions.
That's right, that's what we brought you in for. All right, guys, welcome to Looking, the inaugural season, episode 4, Looking for 2:20 an hour.
Yes.
I'm your host, Scott Moore, along with always affable, always lovely.
Thank you, Scott. I'm Kylie Hodges. And we have a new guest with us, or a new host with us.
New host, yay.
Yes, I'm
We're
Kyle
breaking 'em in.
Kittleson. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
We're breaking you in with
Welcome,
whips and
Kyle.
chains today, too.
That's his style.
That's the way he likes it.
And I'm Pat Lambert with the Whips and Chains.
That's right.
Welcome.
So, guys, fun episode today for 2:20 an hour, right?
Yeah.
That's almost my rate. I'm a little more
That's
expensive than that.
That's my rate.
I'm a little
you
higher
know?
than that, but
This was my favorite episode thus far.
Was it?
Well,
Yeah.
he's a sex worker, so
Right,
he,
because
he,
I'm
he
actually a
related.
sex worker.
That's
so
right.
I
So you like the
related.
quote.
Yeah.
Even sex workers are people
Sex
too,
workers
right?
are people too.
They are.
Breaking,
They have a
breaking
heart.
barriers.
They have a heart. You cut them, they'll bleed.
A penis, that's a body.
You're right.
Part.
They have to eat. They have to
So
go to the
true.
bathroom like everyone else. They're just people like
Boys
us.
gotta pay for their leather.
Okay, well, should we talk about sex workers? Or about the relationship there? CJ,
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
confused
Yes.
about how this ended. So CJ is the sex worker. Agustín goes to see him for this
Right.
art project. Then Frank is like, "Oh, you got him to do it." Is he negotiating a threesome and keeping the fact that he's going to pay for the threesome? Is there any art involved?
Well, that was my whole thing. I don't know what you guys think, but because you were kind of talking about it before, Kylie, like
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, did Agustín tell Frank the truth too? Like, I don't feel like he was telling him the whole story.
Well, I got the impression towards the end of the show where they meet back up at the bar,
Right.
and his boyfriend says, "And how did it go?" He said,
Yeah.
"Oh, it went great, wonderful, blah blah blah." That gave me the impression that they had already talked about doing this art project with this sex worker CJ. Now, whether or not that turns into an art project or not, I guess
Right.
we'll never know.
I 100% interpreted it as Frank thinks that they're just going to have a threesome with Augustín's friend named CJ. And CJ thinks that he's just getting paid to be part of an art project.
Right.
And Agustín thinks that he can get away
Exactly.
With what?
not letting
But why,
Frank
though?
realize that he's
hired a
paying a prostitute to have a three-way with
And I
him.
think that he is actually interested in how the work
I
goes.
agree. I think
Yeah.
that's what it is, and so that's why I feel like he's not telling Frank the whole side of the
And
story
I also
there.
think Patrick is going to be the one paying for it.
Oh,
I
you're
agree.
right.
No, I
It's like
agree.
they had the
I
moment
agree.
and Patrick was like, "Who's paying $220?"
Yeah.
I'm already paying for
That
I
is
didn't
true
think of that.
because at the end he said, "So why? How did he agree to do it? Why does he want to do it?" And he just said, "Oh, he just does."
And then Patrick's like,
You're cool.
What? We didn't talk about this.
Well, Patrick's got the job right now,
Such
so
a sweet guy.
right?
Such a sweet,
He
poor soul.
is. I'm
Oh
so
my gosh.
I'm so awkward.
I love him more and more every episode.
Every time he screws up, I'm like, "You cute little shit."
Yeah.
I know.
Last week I was kind of giving him a hard time, but I said last week redeemed himself,
He
and he just
did.
redeemed himself even more. And I said that I was hoping to get a little more like development with his character and his like goals in life, and it's like they're becoming evident now, and
Right.
it's clear that he's growing up in the show, and I love watching
So
that.
what did you think of him taking the stance with his boss? When the boss was like, "Should we order dinner?" and he was like, "Totally into it, totally," and then it was
Right.
like, "No."
Well, I mean, it was because it came after the whole discussion with Agustín.
Augustin's
So
intervention.
it made him think. It was like, oh shit, like this could be. We could be entering a really bad situation here. So maybe I need to step back a little bit. So I think that's what
I think that's a very mature approach for him,
Yeah, I
but
wouldn't
that's
think
not what I wanted to see.
no. I wanted to see that.
I,
No.
Get
I,
dinner.
I
Right.
love the idea because the last episode I really liked because it wasn't so heavy focused on dating. It was focused on self-improvement and going after a career and being better. And so now he has this chance to be with a guy, even though he's in a relationship, who is so career focused. They're in the same industry. He's working hard at his career, and they look like such a great couple.
Right.
And they had all this
great
stuff
rapport.
going on.
Great rapport, yeah.
And clearly his boss is not that into his boyfriend. He just flew in from out of town, and he's like, well, I'm going to go back to the office on a Sunday. I mean, hello.
Right.
So I wanted him to say, yeah, let's get food. But again, real quick, when you said, he's such an awkward character, I literally came out of my chair and just put my hands on my face when he goes, yes, are you hungry? And he goes, I don't know. I go, what do you mean you don't know?
Yeah, you either know, you are or you aren't.
Make a decision.
You are or you aren't.
Just,
you know.
God.
No, but isn't that what you do when you're flirting? You just act like you're indecisive to be like, can you make a decision?
Yeah,
so
right.
can agree
I don't
with you?
know. Where do you want to go? Oh, I'll go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
blow you.
any of those places sound good to me.
Like, I'll swallow if I have to. Just love me.
I mean,
Yeah, well.
whatever you want to do.
Is that just me?
No, that's.
that's
all
flirting, right?
No, that's
Just kidding.
Yeah. I get it.
No,
I don't flirt like that.
No, I get it. I do the mean flirting, but I get it. But but I do get it. But it
I'm
was.
$2.20 an hour. So.
I'm 500.
Mine's pretty basic.
You have to pay more if you're gonna get.
Yeah,
video.
totally. You tell me what kind of character I
Yeah.
can do. Russian.
Yeah.
I can do
You're the only one here with a beard, so
fucking.
that's in
I'm
right
to
now.
theme.
Yeah,
I
you
am
are
to
the theme. You are.
Love
Yeah,
the
you
theme
get extra.
party.
You get extra credit for that.
Thank you. That's $2.25.
And I think I think the fan favorite relationship or could be relationship is Richie and
I love
Patrick.
Of course.
But
we all went, "Aw." Yeah.
I am the
That's crying over
minority.
here.
I love you, Richie.
I am the minority, and I much rather see Patrick and his boss.
Well,
go.
come
And
on.
I think we're going to.
We are
Oh,
going to. Of course.
Definitely thought they were gonna
They're setting it up.
Yeah.
fucking this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I thought when they were like, "Do you want to get dinner?" I thought it was gonna become like a
Yeah. No, I
rip
didn't.
the table down sort of thing.
Who
I
needs
didn't.
this
I didn't
computer?
think it would go quite that far,
needs
but you're
this?
right. It's
Video games
it's
suck.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It has to happen.
But they have to do. And he's gonna be awkward a little bit longer because that's what Patrick does
And like,
best.
look
He's
at how the
awkward.
boss reacted there. He was like, "Oh wow, maybe I did. Maybe
Yeah.
I did step over."
Right.
I was really proud of Patrick. I mean, call me a goody two-shoes or a prude or whatever, but I would have been so disappointed in him if he started having a relationship with his boss who was in a relationship already.
That is true. He
Well,
would have lost
I
credibility.
feel like I'm mothering him by saying
No,
that. But
I would not have.
I would not have thought that way either. But,
like,
but
oh, I
here's-
would've.
no, I would
I'd
have.
wrap
I
this
would
up.
have. But I would have for different reasons because it would have made the working relationship really in a bad place.
Yes.
Not
It's bad
because
for business.
of Kevin being in the relationship already, because they're two adults, and if that went that route, that's different. I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's not the reason. For me, it's the work. Because then you're getting to a
Plus,
relationship
you already got
with the
hired for the
boss.
team, so like,
You're just putting
You don't need to
yourself
blow
in
yourself in,
Yeah, you're putting.
you know?
You're just. Yeah, you're putting. Exactly. You don't have to work that hard now. You're already in.
you're already in. You're getting the paycheck, $2.20.
So you don't. So that's where it would have been really just bad place.
Okay,
I do love
Yeah.
Patrick's character in general, and this episode exemplified how all of his levels of character, because we see him as this like worker in the office, but then we see him shirtless with like a leather vest, and he's not like a leather guy, but
No,
now
he
he
feels
is.
out of place.
Now he is,
No,
because
yeah,
he's just willing to try anything. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna date my boss for a little bit, or I'm gonna date this Hispanic guy on the bus, and I'm gonna wear a leather vest today, and I'm gonna be awkward, and he's all
just
of it.
hoping. He's a hopeful. I think he's a very hopeful person.
Well, and
He's looking.
Is he looking?
He's looking. Oh,
But
yes,
but
there
he's
it
also
is.
still very
Perfect.
he's very innocent and naive still, and he's just coming into his own in that sense, because they bring it up again with Augustine talking about him not really being in a relationship except for that one guy. Like he's still finding himself. He's still
Well, I think
kind
he
of
seeks
exploring.
validation through other people,
Right.
and so he doesn't feel secure in who he is.
He doesn't, and he's
Oh, yeah,
still
for
coming
sure.
into his own as a person, and so I think he's still trying to explore and figure himself out, and so he's doing these new things and kind of like you said, he's been growing the past couple of episodes here, and we've watched that.
Like
so.
the Richie, when he goes into Richie, he was like, "I'm sorry, that wasn't me." Like I've had dates where the next day I was like, "I'm sorry, like I think that I was trying too hard," or like, "Can we try that again?"
But even when he was like yelling loudly in the bar, I was like, "Oh, this is awkward too."
So awkward, so awkward.
I
Can
love
you hear
that,
me?
though.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
It makes me cringe.
Should we go
Should we take this outside?
Should I just shut up and walk away? I was like,
I'm getting
oh.
real here. Come on.
Although I will
Give me
say
something.
I want the miracle ear for clubs. I know they have it for restaurants, but I want it because I was at a club on Friday night and I had to yell at everybody.
I'm sorry. What is
Wait,
the miracle
yeah,
ear hearing
for
aid?
old people.
I don't know
and
if you should say this out
No,
loud.
I'm admitting it because I think it would be great.
I thought it was like a club toy.
No,
like
no,
you
because
could
then you could
buy
like,
it.
you could dim the background noise and then I could like talk to everybody and then I could complain.
Scott,
when too
you
old
just
to do
you
it.
just like
Wow.
you just brought that
It's
out.
cool, Scott. Everyone's got.
I
their
don't
thing.
care. I would embrace that.
Everyone's into
Scott
it.
goes, I
for
just,
the restaurant for
I
old
just
people, I want it for
wish
the
I could
clubs.
have a hearing aid for a club.
It's cool, Scott.
Just for the club.
Just
We
for the
still-
club.
we
Not
still like
mine.
you,
Just to
Scott,
turn down
it's
the music
fine.
so I can talk.
That's a gateway drug. You know that you'd be the guy in the theater who's listening to the people in the background being like, God, need my dimmer again.
That's what I'm saying. No, but I could turn it up so I could listen to
They'd be like,
everything. I'm
Scott, you
sorry.
can hear your. I mean, it's okay, Scott.
No, I'm serious.
That's cool.
I thought of that.
What is great is Patrick is so good looking. I mean, obviously
He's adorable.
But it's great because the good looking guy and looking is the awkward one.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the times, and stereotypically,
Yeah.
in other shows that have gay characters who are the really attractive ones, they're the ones that are super confident, not awkward,
Yeah.
go after what they want.
Yeah.
And I love seeing a guy who clearly could walk into the club
Right.
and be really confident with
Right.
anyone going, I don't know. I love that. I was like, because it doesn't match, and I think that's a really nice thing to see.
Yeah, it makes him more of a real person because there are people out there that feel that way that you're like, why are they not confident in themselves?
Well, I
They're,
think he's
you know.
sexually naive. I don't think he's had
course.
enough sex in his life to understand himself
Well,
as the
and
sexual
he's
being
just-
that he
he's-
can be.
He's naive.
Whereas
naive.
Dom is
He's-
like, I like to have
Yeah.
sex.
right, and he's a
hot.
little bit older. He's had the
cool with that.
experiences.
Yeah.
He
Well, and
knows
on the
what he
show,
wants.
he's never had sex, right?
Oh yeah,
He's the only one.
He grind. Oh, you mean Patrick? I mean,
Patrick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Patrick
he only,
is the only one.
He only like started a blowjob.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
honestly, who hasn't?
I guess I didn't even realize that.
Every
Yeah.
character has had plenty of
Agustin's
hookups.
had plenty.
Right.
And then Patrick is like,
How did-
I'm in the bushes, but not for any longer. We're in
Right.
bed, but not anymore.
Yeah.
He can't do it. And I again, I like that. And it does show, going back to your point, Patrick, it does show the fact that he is Mr. Naive, the guy who like just, flew in from Ohio or something. No offense to people in Ohio. That's a random state I just chose.
That's fine.
But
I've
like,
been there. It's fine.
you just fly into
from
true.
to San Francisco.
Middle America, right?
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's true. But he's also he's not confident. Like he hasn't had a lot of other,
Yeah, that's
obviously
why those
life experiences
terrains are sort of foreign to him.
Yeah, and
And
just
why
in
he
general.
second guesses. It's like a figure skater who's not really sure if they.
I bet.
Good
it-
Olympic
Good,
club
yeah,
right there.
Olympics
so
tie-in.
topical.
Gay Russia, gay Russia.
Topical. Okay, Russia.
Screw you,
huge-
Sochi.
We're all gonna show up as drag Putin for the next.
Drag
episode.
Putin.
So
Yes.
great.
That would be awesome.
I was unaware, but I'm cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, you'll be drag Brittany, so
yeah, that's right. You will
it's
be.
more in your scene, and he'll
Yeah.
get a hearing aid. We all have
Yes,
something.
exactly.
We all have our
So
things.
speaking of hot people, I'm terribly attracted to Dom.
Even with the mustache,
So
right? We were
hot.
talking
Yes,
about that.
and
off-
I was
off
saying
camera.
I don't care about
What you
mustaches.
got with
I think.
mustaches? I think they cool.
I'm not a mustache
Okay,
person. I'm
well,
a beard person.
I
I'm
love-
not a mustache person.
Recently, Dawn and Dom
Dom and
Murray, Murray is the actor
his
who
name?
plays Dom, and
Murray, okay.
Frankie, who plays Agustín, were at the HRC gala in New York, and Dom was not donning his mustache.
Oh,
And we have a picture of it if you're watching on
Wordplay.
YouTube.
I can't go to this anymore.
If you're watching it, he didn't have his mustache. He looked awesome. I mean, he looked
Can we
younger.
see the
He looked
picture?
awesome.
Yeah, give me one second.
Thanks,
so that I
Roya.
can-
We got our engineer scrambling through the files
Yes.
of photos.
That's
The depths of the.
Did Augustine still have the beard though? That's the word.
I don't think so, and I don't know how I
Because
shaved
that's
that
an
thing.
epic
That is
beard.
like-
Honestly,
That's
like,
you need
sometimes-
a weed
Have a weed
whacker.
whacker.
Sometimes
Yeah.
when
Right.
you've got an intense beard, not saying this is intense beard, it's a starter kit. But it's really petrifying.
cute.
Like,
There's the
Oh,
picture.
there we
of it.
go. There we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Right? Even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Oh, Pat, your
Hot.
face.
I'm doing
Hot.
okay.
You're having
I'm
many
doing
emotions.
I'm doing okay.
How? Let's
I'm
go
glad
down the
that
line.
they-
How does
I'm-
everybody feel? Pat, you go ahead.
Well, I'm glad that you can't see below the stable. Boner joke.
I have
That
a
was
10.
boner joke.
I wrote up 10.
See, this is now you're like
Are
an
we
Olympic
doing
judge.
Olympic
For the Olympics.
scores?
You're like
Yeah.
an Olympic judge here.
Is that a 10 for who?
For who?
for no mustache Dom.
Yeah.
Okay, how
Yeah.
about Agustín?
Kind
Kind of looks like
this
a
is a little
child with
subjective.
a 5 o'clock shadow.
I like a shadow.
I like the shadow, but I love
Okay,
that epic
okay.
beard because it's so hot. Like it's so
I mean,
epic.
look
it's
at
so
the
His
bone
mouth
structure
looks so
on Dom.
small.
yeah. Dom look.
For you people listening, I'm just saying, Google it. Don't
Yes.
get hit while you're driving.
Now Google it.
Take
pull
a
over.
minute.
Because you might
Take
need
a
to
minute
pull over.
to enjoy.
Yeah, he looks fantastic.
He's doing okay for himself.
He is. I think he needs to go without the mustache.
Well, what
now.
about dating older people on this topic? He's older than us. He's possibly.
Well, he's
gonna
not
get...
much older than me at this point, but
Scotty, turn
that's
that
why I'm the
hearing
hearing
aid
aid.
up.
Exactly.
Turn that hearing aid up, babe.
As someone who's progressing into their mid-30s, he's not much older, really.
Oh my! Are your eggs still firm?
It's honesty
No.
hour now.
Yeah, they're drying out.
So, but what were you saying, Patrick, with dating people who are older
Well,
than
it's
you?
a very interesting because Dom is sort of a sexually driven man, finding himself
Right.
still at 40.
Yeah, totally.
I think that the older, what is the flower shop?
Lynn.
Lynn, yes.
I love him.
Love
Scott
him.
Bakula, come on.
Love him.
Love him.
So amazing. But it's funny to see that their dynamic progress.
Yeah.
It's like Dom's like, no, I'm looking for something constant.
Yeah.
Like it would be nice to date somebody who's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the way their
age.
relationship is progressing too. It's again very
It's
organic.
a
And
little
it's so
cat and mouse.
confusing.
It
yeah.
is.
And like Lynn is definitely selling himself short, but I think
Yeah.
it's been set up by many times that like at the
Absolutely.
bathhouse when the hot guy was like,
Right. And,
know,
and Lynn is,
wasn't paying attention
is
to the older
older,
man.
and he's feeling, self-conscious too, I think, with this
Yeah.
younger,
oh, he's a
good-looking
hot
guy.
older man.
Absolutely. But, again, it's that same feeling, like he's feeling a little bit uncomfortable and,
I still think Dom feels like he's the hot young guy who should be desired in that relationship because they meet, they go out to lunch, and I even made a note on how strong he was coming on to Lynn about getting money or business advice and all that for his restaurant because he's like, hey, I'm sure you want me, everybody else does. So I feel like his past would allow him to be more aggressive with an older gentleman because that
So
has
you
always
saw that he
played
was
out.
sort of taking advantage of Lynn.
I don't think advantage would be the right word. I just think he felt really confident as the younger, hotter one.
Right.
In Dom.
Clearly,
that's
you're
mine.
gonna want to
Yeah.
spend more time
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
to me.
But now,
I mean, look at this mustache.
Clearly, I'll show you my butt.
Don't you want to say?
but
Put the
now,
mustache
Business
on your
plan,
butt.
but $2.20 an hour.
yeah, 220 an hour, going right back.
Turn
But
the hearing aid
now
up.
that I hope, I mean, it would be great for them to be in a relationship.
Oh, they're
'cause
definitely
They're
gonna-
definitely going to, and you see
I
that.
mean, Perry,
I don't know
Perry
if they're
chicken.
definitely
Yes.
going to.
Oh,
They
He doesn't
are.
cook peri chicken for
They
just
are. He
anybody.
doesn't.
So
He wants him to taste his
But
chicken.
Dom, I also think needs something from him right now.
Of course.
So I think dinner could be.
But I think Dom's gonna have. He's perfectly set up to have a moment to sort of realize, like, why am I being superficial? I want to grow up. I'm at a place where I have to grow up.
And this is a
personally
good,
and
good guy. This
professionally.
could be
But
a healthy
This is a good
relationship.
guy.
Gonna turn,
What am I-
he's going to turn 40 in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So my early prediction is that we'll see a
Meltdown.
birthday party, and then exactly he will have a meltdown where he's going to go after some 18-year-old kid,
yes.
leave flower shop guy, and be like,
Sure.
I'm done with this because I still want to be young.
Of course, he's gonna
and
mess
then
it up.
maybe then he'll have a
Right, he's
realization.
going to mess it up. Yes, of
Yeah.
course. But I think they have a good chance of having a really
Yes.
good relationship there. Like a healthy,
Right.
a good positive relationship.
Do you think
And
you'll
can
bring him
see that.
flowers? Would that be stupid? I brought you these flowers, like big deal.
Yeah. Right, you own the flower
Did you
shop.
pay for him?
It's like I brought you this chicken. It's like you own a restaurant, whatever.
The peri chicken, which I have no idea what that is either. Has anyone ever
I
heard
think
of that?
it's Well, I've.
I mean, it's Portuguese
There
or
you go. It's
whatever.
burnt chicken.
I'm like,
Oh,
what is
I
it?
kept thinking it was Peruvian. It's Portuguese.
No.
I don't know
Oh,
a thing
Portuguese.
about Portuguese.
No, if you go to Peru, you'll have guinea pig. So
Got it.
that's their chicken there.
The best chicken I've ever had in my life was
Was in Peru?
Peruvian chicken.
Oh, you say it was in Peru. You ate guinea pig. That's what it was.
I was like,
I have
pollo?
eaten-
And they're like, no, guinea pig. And I was like, oh, pollo, okay.
I love Chinese food, and
I love
cats
guinea
are
pig.
still my favorite animal.
Oh,
I think it's okay to live.
Right. I love guinea pig. It was
Live under
great.
your own law,
Just don't let your cat eat your Chinese leftovers because that would be really twisted.
Aw.
Yeah, that was shit.
Sorry, I took that to a
okay, I
bad
just left it
dark
I think you
place.
both did. You both did. You both. Yeah. It's too
well,
late.
Dear Kitty
who-
Purry, please don't go near the chicken.
Guinea pig.
Please stay in your room.
Oh my God.
Shout out to the cat.
Yeah.
You know who
Who's watching mine?
is my favorite character on the show, and who I'm so happy we're
I know
getting to see
exactly
more
who you're
of?
gonna say.
It is Doris.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! First of all,
I just love her
She's
name.
badass.
that acting she does is so good.
That
I mean, from
acting
the
she
first
does.
I know, right?
episode, she is so
Hilarious.
believable.
Well, she says to
so
deliver those
real,
lines,
so
right?
good. And I think as gay men, we all have a Doris somewhere in our life. Like we have some
Line
version
him up.
of them.
I can't walk into a city with that one.
Would
you have one
is
in
that
every
what
city.
you would say a
Honestly.
beard is Doris?
No,
Don't
'cause
say
a
it.
beard-
No, because that would be hiding.
A
like
beard's
if you're
operation is to hide your.
is to hide you to be
personal
straight.
identity.
Oh,
Yes.
I know
But-
nothing about this.
But Doris and Dom
more.
had a relationship, right? Or am I making this
oh,
up?
did
They've had
is
some
that what it
sex.
was?
Yeah, but
I've had some sex with.
right, but it's
My-
but
Yeah,
that's-
we learned that last
but
week.
but it's different. We learned his entire life story. But I mean, it's different by saying if you're a beard, then you're hiding behind that. As her would be like, she would be like your date, your fake,
No,
girlfriend.
we know what term she would be.
Yes.
She'd be your F hag.
Yes, exactly.
But we don't like that word.
No, we hate that word.
We're not
F-word.
reclaiming that word.
And we heard that word in this episode.
did. What do you guys think about
I
it?
missed it. My ears did not perk up. But apparently the
Yes,
gentleman
we heard
who
it
claimed
twice.
to be the co-owner of the flower shop mentioned it. And
Lynn said it.
Lynn
twice.
said it twice.
Lynn
but,
said it.
Lynn said it and didn't. Somebody else said it too. I thought.
I
two
think
people
Dom
said
said it too.
Yeah, maybe it
Lynn
was
said it
Dom.
when they were sitting down saying
those
bunch of
older
hippies.
days.
Well, that's what I was. Yeah, I was
And then when
talking
they
about.
were
I was in a-
talking together.
Yeah.
So do you think they just aren't offended by that term? Is it
I have
it was
met a
more
lot
casual?
of older gay men who use the term more as a colloquial term. And I feel like younger generations have been maybe taught differently to look at that word differently.
Yeah, I always
Yeah,
thought
I
that was
do
a very
agree. I
offensive
think
word.
generalization.
I
but-
think because it was used in such a negative way, it's like you were saying, they want to kind of reclaim it back and be like, we're taking the power out
Well,
of that word.
I think a lot of older generations, like with drag queens, like
Right.
they use the word sort of like the N-word is sort of reclaimed
Right.
in African
right,
American
it's that
culture.
same
It
context.
sort of was reclaimed, especially in drag culture. It's like hugely reclaimed and used.
Really?
Oh,
But,
like,
but it
for sure.
bothers you.
but it bothers me.
Regardless
Absolutely.
of who says it or the context, it bothers you.
Absolutely.
It bothers you too, right?
No, it does not bother
Oh,
me.
it doesn't
at all.
bother you?
No.
Oh, it kills me.
I don't use it, but it doesn't bother me in the same
Because
way it bothers you.
To me, if we use
But-
it, then we're endorsing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
the
I don't
term.
use it.
And I've met so many straight people who like are even close friends who like will say it sort of like it's cool to say.
I don't agree with that
And I'm like,
either.
hey, like it's not cool to say.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like that, but I don't use it. But if another gay person was to say it in casual conversation, it wouldn't bother me as much as it would if a straight
I
person
don't
was
think
using it
it
towards me.
bothers me at all, unless I guess someone was saying
using it in a negative way.
in a very mean, like
Yeah.
hateful way. But if someone's
Right.
just using,
I
like
just
I
think
watched
we
it in the
have so
show
much
and I
better- so
didn't,
many better words.
I didn't
Yeah.
think.
Right. Like I would prefer someone just to say
Queens.
girl or
Queens.
Even Queens sometimes just gets on my nerves after a while because it's such a.
I just think of lip
But it
gloss.
doesn't bother me.
I mean, I don't care if someone calls me stupid, like, oh, you're stupid. But if they go, you're stupid, I'd go,
I don't mind if they
I
do
don't
either,
like
'cause
that
I'm
now.
like,
It's all about how you use the word.
But I feel like
regardless.
when you use that word, it is like a trope of like the image of like when you're like, oh, you're being such a F word.
Yeah.
It's like the idea of this effeminate sort of flighty, stupid, slutty. Like there's like
Wait, what
to
are you
me there's a
talking
lot
about?
of weighted. Yeah, it's a very to me it's a very weighted term.
Yeah.
And as a culture that sort of is divisive in itself,
Yeah.
like gay men are sort of very catty with each other.
Well, exactly. Like we were
I
talking
don't
about that.
like
It brings
it.
you down. Like you want to bring a lot of gay people want to try to bring other gay people down.
Yes.
And it does.
And
it
most of the
becomes
time when
very
I
negative.
see it used, it can be like with people who are all gay and so like whatever, but they're using it in a negative way
Right.
about someone else who's gay.
Right. It's a way of bringing people down. We
Or
need to,
even
we
if
need
they're
to
just
raise
joking.
people up here.
Sorry,
people.
I'm getting really.
No, it's true.
Girl
And I had this
power,
whole
gay power.
Gay power!
conversation yesterday with people, and it has it's freighted. It has a very, it has a lot of meaning behind it. So it is an interesting point because we saw it mentioned tonight twice by the older.
Like I've been on dates where
generation.
somebody's like used it, and I like was like visibly uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, I don't think
That's just where I'm
people
at.
should use it. I'm not
I agree.
condoning it, and
I
I,
don't
definitely
use it.
don't use it.
No, right.
But it doesn't bother me if people do. But that's a good point. If you're on a first date and they're saying that may be an indication of
Red
like,
flag.
oh,
To me, it's like-
no
to me, it's
thanks.
like-
Red flag.
I don't like.
Yeah, red flag goes up, and I'm like, it may not be that person.
My grandmother
I'm gonna
always
spend more
says
time.
it just means that you have bad vocabulary.
Oh,
I
grandma.
Love my fucking
I
grandma.
love your grandma for that. I love your grandma. I love her now, and I haven't
funny.
even met her.
Shout
but I love
out to
that.
Pat's grandma.
Right,
Thelma.
that's
Thelma.
awesome.
Thelma
Pat's
Lou.
G-Ma.
Thelma.
Thelma
Thelma.
Lou.
And
Come
Thelma, what a
on.
great name.
Let's pull up the
Thelma,
picture
Doris,
of Thelma
I love it
Lou.
all.
I know
When I'm a
Thelma
drag
Doris.
queen, Thelma Lou
Right.
is the name, stage name.
Right. That's a perfect. I was
Based
just gonna
on
say
the
that's a
biggest
great drag.
queen I know.
That's a.
Anyways, back to the show.
So one before
Pat, we just brought it back to you again.
let's talk about
You're
let's
so
talk
gay.
about. Oh, I guess we already talked about Augustine and
Right.
the Frank
We do think that
thing.
Frank.
They're in a threesome phase.
There is.
Yeah, what's
yes,
the deal? I
but-
mean, is that normal to keep wanting to have threesomes that much? I thought it was kind of like it's just a little.
Or do you think there's a compromise?
time.
Do you think Frank is compromising for Augustine? And I again don't think Augustine has told Frank the
Frank
truth of
seems
this whole
really
CJ
into
thing.
the threesome now.
He does.
And is he really into it? Because he wasn't into the first one.
No, he
I mean,
wasn't.
he was like,
Maybe
but he
he's
did this
into
time.
it because he thinks Augustine's
Right.
into
That's what I'm saying. Like
It's-
he's doing it for him.
Who's really into it? Though?
Augustine seems like he's got some shady shit happening. Because he's just
He's
not being
super
Yes.
shady. He's always been shady in this
He is.
He
relationship.
is shady.
He is.
The shade of
Shady
it all.
queen.
He's got another plan.
Throw some shade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a huge twist and turning
Issue.
plot of the story.
It is.
With, I mean, he's literally just taken a huge step on becoming a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he's in a relationship that he just moved in with his boyfriend. So you just move in with someone, you go, and now I may get this much closer to becoming a prostitute.
And he moved in under the wrong circumstances to begin with.
Yeah.
Remember, it was
Yes,
like he was
yes.
low on funds, and he decided, well, I guess now I'll move in. You know,
Is
get
it
up
really
on-
bad? Okay, never mind.
Oh, say
Right.
it. Say it.
Say it. Look
Pat's
at you.
opinions
You let
about
it
sex
out.
workers. I think it's really hard to endorse the trade because there's so much evil in it, especially what it does to so many people, like the sex trafficking.
sex trafficking,
like,
yes,
clearly is like
absolutely.
the most
Right.
brutal evil
Right.
thing in the world.
yeah.
But I sort of think it's okay to self-elect to
I think it's
No,
okay.
I do
Run
too.
your own mom and pop shop
Absolutely.
of
Yeah,
it.
be an entrepreneur.
What's the difference between
Like,
going out to
right.
dinner and having sex and getting a
Absolutely.
check?
safe sex, of
to
course.
consenting adults? Absolutely. Like,
And if you can get like some money out of it,
But if,
That's the best of both worlds.
I've got a full timer, but
right.
Yeah, raise your hand if you hate sex. Yeah,
Raise your hand if
nobody
you're sure.
hates it.
Hands
so
down.
imagine if
and
you,
I like money.
yeah, way down.
Money
But
sex.
if
down, my
I'm
hands are chopped off.
If I'm
Money.
in a relationship, though, I'm definitely not having
That's-
sex with anyone else, and I'm definitely
No,
not pursuing another career as a sex worker, even though,
Right.
quote,
So
sex
upset.
workers are people too.
Right, but and I again, yeah, it
Yeah.
brings. That's why I think there's a lot going on there.
But we
Augustine's not being
haven't
honest.
seen any conversation between Augustine and Frank
Right.
discussing him
So
going
we
to
don't
into.
know-
So we assume that he's going behind Frank's back,
Which
pursuing
makes
this
it
career, which is
worse.
so fucking shady.
Which leads me to
Like-
predictions here, people, because I want to
Yes.
hear what you guys think
Yes.
about all of this. Because
Thank you.
before we run out of time,
Now, your AfterBuzz TV
Whoa.
predictions.
Hey, the power
so
bell.
scary.
Whoa.
All right, Pat, predict something.
Okay, okay, I'm on.
Putting
it.
it on you.
Related to the show.
I think that well, I'm gonna talk about Lynn, and I think that Lynn and Dom are gonna have a really romantic dinner. I think Dom is gonna realize some things about himself and pursue Lynn romantically. Lynn, I think, is gonna be set up for failure at one point, and that they're gonna have a dynamic, personal growth relationship. And Dom's gonna realize some things about himself and mature through the Lynn experience.
Gosh, it was so like serious and
Beautiful.
quiet.
And then I think,
Now
and
you
then I think
know.
Augustine's gonna be a total slut.
Yes.
there we go. That's the Pat
you.
I know.
Thank
right
you.
there.
I
Thank you. Ooh,
turn
got,
it up.
got so serious there.
My prediction is that Dom will have a banging 40th birthday party, but he's going to have like a coming of age again, like motion or experience where he maybe gets a little depressed. But I think
Freak
a
out.
bigger thing is with Agustín, I always pronounce it wrong. When he goes through this mess of doing his artwork with CJ, the other sex worker, I think him and Patrick will have an issue because I think deep down Patrick is a homegrown, morally sound guy, and he will not be okay with this. And I could see those two best friends from college having a blow up.
Spot on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spot
Good one.
I'm thinking about what I want to predict. You know, I kind of think that maybe Lynn is going to be the one that got away from Dom. And I'm
can
sure
see
we'll
that.
see him
I can
again,
see
but
that.
like I feel like something's going to happen where he takes a step back and he's like, Dom is not serious about me. Because they are playing cat and mouse.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynn could be like, no thanks, Dom.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
Playing
a little
anymore.
immature
You're a
for
little
me.
loosey-goosey
I
for
don't need
my
to be playing those
likings.
games.
Yeah. Even though we met in a bath.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
good one. I think it's gonna get really complicated with Patrick because I do think that the working relationship with Kevin, his boss, is gonna get a little more.
Oh, yeah.
Those lines are gonna become more blurred while he's still trying to get with Richie. I think there's definitely gonna be a little mixing of drama going on there. So I can't wait to see that because it's gonna get very messy.
4 more episodes left.
I
Yeah, we didn't
know.
really talk about the end of the show, but you guys were all like, oh, what? And I was just like, ooh, this is getting
with the Richie
sexy.
part? Oh my
It was
God.
great. Yeah, like the
Getting to see
nose
Richie
touching on
again?
the cheeks.
So
I was like,
romantic.
I call it my
Hot.
boyfriend right
It,
now.
it was hot. It was hot. It was very hot.
It was
hot.
great.
Patrick.
I'm excited for what's to
I'm gonna go
come.
home
too.
to Kitty Purry and and think about that one.
Me too. I'm gonna think very hard
Me and Ben and Jerry are
Very
gonna have
hard.
a great rest of our night together.
while watching figure
That's a
skating.
threesome I'll sign up for.
Yeah. While watching the Olympics.
Yeah.
Gay Russia.
Gay Russia.
All right, we great show, guys, and it's great to have Kyle here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
and
I'll be
Pat's
here next
back.
week,
Can
too.
you say
Hopefully.
goodbye as Brittany?
Yes.
Wait, tell us your Twitter handle
where can we find
in
everybody?
Brittany's voice. Can you do that?
Oh, I don't know. I'll just do it in my regular voice. My Twitter handle is @Kyle_Kittleson. LESON as in Nathan.
I have the underscore
Awesome.
too. At Pat_Lambert. Falls off the tongue.
Look at that. Yeah, it sure does. And where can they
I
find
have
you,
no
Kylie?
underscore at the Kylie Hodges.
You and I don't have an underscore either, so I mean we split the table up here. You can find me at sman80 sman80, and here for Chosen and Archer podcast returning on Monday, February 24th, and stand-up comedy if you're in LA. Come check me out on Sunday night, March 2nd after the Oscars at 8:30 at the Comedy Store. Yeah.
And Chasing Maria Menounos premieres on Oxygen.
That's right.
10 p.m. on March 18th. Tuesdays, 10 p.m.
That's right. Don't
Better
miss 'em.
watch it.
Don't miss it. Get it on the DVR now.
So true.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.